9.10. The only one of the meet so far. That, of course, will keep Boginskaya locked in first place. Onodi's second. Kalinina moves ahead of Bontas into third. In the vault, her first vault scored a 9.85. This will be her second. Of course, in the all-around, they take the best of the two scores, and she'll need a higher second vault score if she hopes to stay ahead of Kalinina.
She does a Yurchenko, full twist, little hop there on the landing. Could cost her a 10th. Onodi's vault has really done very well. Perhaps the only difference between Boginskaya and Onodi is the slight hop on the landing.
And a little better score, 9.862. On the uneven bars now, in her final performance of the day, this is Natalia Kalinina. She needs a 9.9 to move in front of Onodi.
She has a great deal of flair and extension. Straddle over, kip to the high bar. Look at that straight body in the air. Beautiful pirouette right on top of the bar. There's her release move. Straddles up.
She's very precise in every position.
Absolutely. Straight body, another release move. Does not give away form breaks at all. Full in, double back, little step there on the ending.
That little step, perhaps the only deduction in that exercise. Over on the balance beam, Christina Bontas anxiously awaits her last performance. Kalinina's score is a 9.9, exactly what she needed to move her ahead of Onodi. Romania's Bontas needs a 9.95 to move ahead of Kalinina.
And we've mentioned how difficult it is to start the competition on the balance beam, but to end with this much pressure is really, really tough. Hopefully she can maintain that mental toughness. Oh, big break, slip of the foot. Very disappointing. When you're landing from a tumbling move on that 4-inch apparatus, it is so easy to have little slips like that. That's something that you just can't help sometimes. Shaking her up a little bit on that scissor leap.
Of course, the fall cost her a half a point, and that'll completely knock her out of the all-around contention.
As we've mentioned time and time again, this apparatus is so tough to be perfect all the time and to stay consistent. Her dismount, back handspring, double tuck, very disappointing for Bontas. This is such a freak accident. Her first foot was right on and her second foot just slipped off. She tried to fight it, but she just couldn't stay on.
And with that break, a disappointing score of 9.425. Svetlana Boginskaya is an icy cool competitor. Her teammate, Tatiana Groshkova, whom we saw earlier, sees her differently.
I like her because once when I had a problem in a competition and started to cry, she came over and helped me put myself together so I could perform in the other events.
There's no question that she's had a tremendous impact on the younger gymnasts, but for now she'll need a solid routine here to win the title. She's had trouble with this bar routine in practice.
But she has also put on her game face and been very steady throughout the competition. She's gotten a little bit taller, it seems, and it's really much more difficult to keep up with the younger athletes, especially because they are so small. She's 5'4", but look how smooth she is.
And that long body line certainly is very impressive. Kathy, there's your winner.
Boginskaya really shows her experience on this dismount. She pulls her high pike double all the way around and plants those feet as if they were glued to the floor.
With a smile that we rarely see and a score of 9.975, Svetlana Boginskaya wins her second consecutive European Championship. She's followed by Kalinina, then Anodi is third, Bontas dropped to seventh, and Groshkova placed 10th. The young gymnast arrived in Athens searching for glory. But once again, it was Svetlana Boginskaya who came closest to perfection.
Of ABC Sports. Olga Korbut and Ludmila Terestcheva. Well, since then, we've stayed with the event because it's offered some fantastic gymnastics, and it's introduced us to some of the great names in the sport, most notably in 1975, an unknown 13-year-old from Romania, her name, Nadia Comaneci. Now, Kathy Johnson, what stars or surprises, if any, do we expect here?
John, for the most part, we have established gymnasts here, including one of the most celebrated gymnasts in recent history, two-time European champion Svetlana Boginskaya of the former Soviet Union, but competing for Belarus here. She just recently lost her world all-around title to American Kim Zmeskal, but she's still a favorite here because of her style and consistency.
And Kathy, that dropped Lysenko below Hadarian in the standings.
Then in the first rotation of the final session, Svetlana Boginskaya turned in, as always, an exceptional vault complete with her trademark landing. Scored a 9.937, only to be bettered, though, by just thousandths of a point by Gina Gojian of Romania. This is certainly a gymnast to watch for in Barcelona. Watch the power and explosiveness on this vault.
And that thunderous landing put the 14-year-old Gina Gojian ahead of the defending European champion Svetlana Boginskaya in the standings. Now, when the all-around athletes compete in the vault, the uneven bars, the beam, and the floor exercise, we go now to the uneven bars and Tatiana Gutsu from Ukraine.
She has everything she needs to score well here. Two big release moves, nice transitions, and an eye-opening dismount. And nobody knows that better than Boginskaya. She usually has wonderful amplitude on this first release move right here. Fly away with a half twist. She has one more release move. Beautiful reverse hack. Great dismount. Watch the height on this. It's a double layout, way up above the bar, and a great landing.
So the 15-year-old Tatiana Gutsu proves that she could be a contender for many medals at the Barcelona Games.
Take a look at her right leg on these giant swings. When she first came on the international scene, she used to bend her leg badly. You can see they've really polished up her form. This is the best she's ever looked. She'll be ready for Barcelona.
She certainly has the stuff, Bart. The marks from the judges, a 9.950 on the uneven bars for Gutsu. We'll be back with more.
And John, she goes one step farther than most gymnasts in terms of difficulty. She has a very complex combination coming up right here. Two release moves back to back, but watch this second one. Oh, a little bit of trouble with the transition down to the low bar. Unfortunately, she lost her rhythm. Her dismount is a double layout. Very difficult. Oh, she opted for a double tuck. She really needed the more difficult double layout, but I think since she got off rhythm early in the routine, she decided to play it safe.
Let's take a look once again at that release combination. There's only one other gymnast in the world who will dare to do this, and that's Kim Gwang-suk. She's the world champion in 1991. The second move is two moves in one. Reverse heck right to a front flip. That's the most difficult combination being done in the world today.
So the score for Gojian's routine, a 9.887. Now, talking about the difficulty in gymnastics naturally leads to a discussion on scoring and the task of rewarding risk fairly. How subjective is scoring in gymnastics? Kathy Johnson explains.
Anytime the outcome of a competition is determined by subjective judging, it's open for criticism. But blaming the judges is not always fair. For the most part, they're just following the rules in this code of points. I believe the revised scoring system, which was brought into effect right after the Olympics in 1988, is once again outdated, and it doesn't allow the judges to really differentiate the good routines from the exceptional routines. Throughout the 80s, the most difficult vault was this Yurchenko vault with a full twist. It was and still is worth a 10.0 in the code of points. Recently, just a handful of gymnasts began performing the same vault but with a double twist. Obviously more difficult, yet it's given the same value as the easier, more common vault. The gymnast on the right performed the more difficult